Thanks for joining 507 on another video. This is just a quick one in regards to some of the parts that I'm excited to receive. I'm still waiting on some additional pieces to show up for the rear subframe of the car. We're gonna go with full serial 9 from their upper, lower control arms, as well as some of the additional supporting arms that they make. And then it's gonna be Super Pro sway bars, and I think that's pretty much it. For the rear suspension or just suspension in general, I'm working with a sponsor, but I'm wanting to get the car further along before I release who that sponsor is. But I'm really excited to be working with them. In comparison to the race car, the race car is using a set of figs. Pretty much the whole suspension on the race car is all figs and Super Pro sway bars and bushings. I'm going a different route with the Wagon. For the front section of the suspension, I think the only part that I'm going to be running from serial 9 is the upper control arm. I think that's probably the only thing they won't change for the front suspension, since the GS is going to be all-wheel drive, and the whole bottom of the suspension is going to be a completely different setup to be able to work with the all-wheel drive system. So that's the only reason why it's different. And I will have to research to see if I have to just run front OEM pieces from the bottom. So if you can imagine, the upper control arm is there, your strut goes on the top, but anything that the bottom of the strut hooks up to into then where the chassis and all those other parts are for the front subframe, those are all going to be different. So I have to see if other companies make upgraded parts from those, or if I'm just going to have to run OEM. I haven't gone that far just because I'm trying to get that part installed and mocked up in the car before I can start seeing if those will work, just because those pieces are from a Crown or a Altezza Gita or just different cars. And I just need to see which of those cars OEM design parts already will fit best. So I have a couple diagrams. I have a couple folks that have already done this type of work on a GS that basically converted a GS or Aristo to all-wheel drive in the front. So he's shared with me all the information. I know he made a lot of custom pieces. I'm just trying to see which parts I can use that are OEM. So in the case of a replacement or failure, I can just buy that part again and install it. If you've seen my previous video in regards to the pistons, the rods, and the internal pieces that are going into the 3UZ, I'm still waiting for ARP main studs, ARP head studs, and just one more set of bearings that I think is supposed to be the bearings that go, there are the main bearings. Those are the only things that are still missing. Everything else in regards to the engine should already be here. I'm just missing those pieces. And then for the rear suspension, just need the remainder of the 09 arms. One more thing I forgot to mention is I am working with Ryan from Engineering Everything. He is making me billet valve covers for the 3UZ. I have the 3D printed models with PRP coil brackets. So that's another thing to kind of look for. So the goal is to install these parts on a rear subframe that I will be getting from Justin. If you don't know Justin, this is the car he drives. So I'll be getting that from him and basically refreshing that whole rear subframe, put these parts on, get the diff installed on one of the many differential carriers that I have, get it back, and then put it all together. And then the rear suspension, except from the struts, will be on the car. That was pretty much the quick update I wanted to provide. I'm trying to stay on top of these things, so just stay tuned and post more videos and make more posts online. Thank you again, and see you in the next one.